Hello, welcome to yet another video. My name is Jesse Ainebiona, an entrepreneur, speaker, and trainer. Today I'm hosting someone very special, someone that I've known for some time. And as we continue to delve and reflect on the subject of purpose, there is no better person I would think about than Lawrence Namale, someone that I call the purpose coach. He will tell us a bit more about himself, but that's the one thing I know about Lawrence. He has dedicated and devoted his life to help people appreciate the value and the significance of discovering their purpose. And so we are going to have a conversation. Looking forward to an amazing discussion with Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one too.
Great. You're welcome, Lawrence.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Yeah.
Lawrence, could you share with us a little bit more about yourself? Who is Lawrence Namale?
So Lawrence is a life coach and a purpose trainer. One was dedicated his life to, like you've said, helping people to do three things: to discover, to own, and to deploy their God-given purpose. And Lawrence comes from Kenya, ended up in Uganda about 11 years ago, in 2010, doing something totally different from purpose. The work that I was to do was to help raise individuals who will be used by one of these telcos to roll out a new product that had successfully been launched in Kenya. So it was during the work as a manager of making sure that you recruit the right kind of people, equip those kind of people, inspire them, motivate them, and send them to work to produce the results that were needed, that I came to discover my passion is empowering people. You know, coming from a background of IT, management information systems.
Yes.
That was my initial background. But now I'm here on a daily basis interacting with people in terms of who they are, what are their strengths, how do they fit in a team, how do they contribute into the results of the overall project. So it was impressed upon me deeply in a way that I did not even have to struggle to notice that I love empowering people, and it's something that is just flowing out of me. It's not something that I'm trying to force. It's coming naturally. Even if I'm not paid for it, I feel I'm fulfilled. I feel I'm satisfied in this kind of work. And so I decided to basically lean into it. You know, at that moment in time, I started with the so-called motivational speaking. You know, about that was my entry level, where just about any kind of motivational, inspirational message you want to share with people. But as the wine, you know, gets better with time, you start coalescing into what really is something that resonates with you. And so for me, over the years, from 2010 all the way, it's been resonating to three messages. And the core of those three messages is purpose. But then the second one is productivity, which I know you're very much aware about, and you're really passionate about productivity.
Absolutely.
And also resilience.
Okay.
Yes. So maybe in a nutshell, that's who I am. And over the course of time, I've created content. A lot of articles have been written in my blog about the subject of purpose, productivity, and resilience, and also podcasts. I've created over 830 podcasts.
Wow.
And revolving around the same message. And also at the end of the day, I've created 2 books. I'm creating more books. And I've created 2 online courses. But they're most of them, all of these things are zeroing in around the subject of purpose. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Clearly, you have defined and discovered your purpose around the whole process of purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, as I was reading your book and reading your story, I could tell that you live your own message. Because here you are, your background is in management in information systems. You are not currently not doing anything with that.
Nothing.
But really focusing more on something that you did not go to school for, you did not be qualified for. Tell me, why is it important for people out there to discover their purpose? Why is purpose discovery something that people should really pay attention to?
You know, I do believe that at the end of the day, the most common denominator for every human being who is alive is purpose. I don't think there is anyone, and I will challenge anyone to tell me, to show me that there is a human being, I'm talking about a human being, who is living or who was meant to live without purpose. In fact, by the way, I normally go even further and tell people to challenge me, look around the environment and show me anything, living or non-living, that doesn't have purpose.
Yes.
You'll be hard pressed. If you give me waste, it will be because it has been used to expend its purpose, to deploy its purpose, and therefore it has waste. But its purpose has already been done. There is basically nothing in your environment that you can think of.
Yes.
Even right now, if you look around where we are, there is absolutely nothing that doesn't have purpose. Now, how about the human being, who is to me the crown of creation?
Yes.
How about that? There is no human being who doesn't have purpose. And to me, that tells you one thing. It tells you that there's a message of engagement. It tells you that there is something that all of us can actually offer.
Yes.
And not just offer, but actually benefit from it. Basically, we benefit from it in such a way that we are fulfilled as we deploy it, like the writer who is writing a movie script and goes to watch the movie when it's being acted. You can never pay that guy enough for the fulfillment he's feeling.
True.
The same thing with the teacher who is teaching and kids are actually grasping what they are being taught. You can never pay them enough. That's one kind of message and one kind of fulfillment, one kind of payment that I think many people need, and we were created for that. For as long as we don't get that kind of payment, we keep groping from one thing to another, trying to fill our lives with something that makes sense. And you discover that every time you get something in your life that you thought will make sense, immediately you get it. You are like, is that all there is to life? And so you get the car, and now you think that maybe I should have gotten a bigger car, or maybe I should get a bigger car. You get married, you're like, there's just the need for someone to feel that I am doing the very thing that I was sent to do. That is why I think purpose is important. And to go even further, maybe I'll even just go ahead of ourselves today and tell you this, that at the moment, you and I know the whole wide world is grappling with the idea or the aspect of joblessness. Even this World Bank and United Nations, all these UN bodies, they have indicators of joblessness in every country and so on. They're trying as much as possible to do what? To solve that particular problem. The problem is that the route that many people have taken is not a route that is available for everyone, which is a route of education, which has its place. Education, a formal education, and then a job, and so on. But you see, when you come to purpose, it means that even without the so-called formal education, and you've known very many guys who have formal education, but what they are doing right now is purpose-driven, and away from their education that they got.
Absolutely.
So I am saying that one of the biggest answers to the joblessness scourge in the whole wide world is purpose. Because purpose enables you and I to fulfill something that we were sent to do. And in the same note, it helps to transform the world. And as the world is being transformed, we get appreciated. In other words, when we create value with our purpose, we get paid for that particular purpose. So I do believe that everyone who is out there who doesn't have purpose, this could be their answer to their to their joblessness. Anyone who doesn't have a job, it could be an answer. Purpose could be a readily available answer. But you know, the only problem with purpose is this: unlike a job, purpose will not pay you in 30 days. You're going to take some time to ruminate on that particular purpose, even discover it, and work on it to such an extent that it gets to a level where you have clout.
Yes.
You've built enough value, and now that value can be exchanged.
For the money.
So for the money.
Yes.
So that's why I think everyone should be bothered about purpose. Two things. One, fulfillment. You cannot get that fulfillment in any other place. You might try, and people normally try.
Yeah.
You might try this, you might try this, you might try that. You will get momentary fulfillment. I cannot say that there's no fulfillment in owning a car or owning your own house.
Yes.
You will get some kind, but it is not as lasting and as wholesome as doing what you were sent to do in the first place.
True.
Yeah.
And I think, is that what you called psychic income?
That is what we call psychic income. There are two types of income. There is the monetary income, and then there is the psychic income. The psychic income is what I explained earlier on, that the primary school teacher, for example, or just teach any teacher,
yes,
they feel the joy, they feel the joy of the Lord when they see that whatever they have imparted in the child is actually grasped and it's being used. The movie director, when they sit at the back of the movie theater and they see people standing and clapping, that this was very inspirational, a movie, that is psychic income to that movie director. You can never pay them enough for it. And now there is the monetary income. Which people have already paid the tickets and so on and so forth. In life we should always have those two. And the only way you can get those two is when you're doing what you've been sent to do, what you're passionate about, what you have the skills, the calling to do it. So you can get the psychic income with that, and then you can get the monetary income with that.
And I think that's why people normally say that if you discover something that you love to do, you will never have to work a day in your life. Now, that does not really mean that you won't have to work. But I think what that means is you won't have to do the hard, arduous, laborious, that work that you resent. You are still working, no question about it, no shortcuts here. You are still working, but the only difference is that you're doing something that you enjoy doing. It's like you're doing your hobby.
You're passionate about it. Basically, you're not toiling. That's the word. You're not. You're not cursing. And I've been in that place, by the way.
Me too.
You're not cursing the job the only job that as in you hate going there. But given that is the only option you have at the moment, you find yourself going to do it. It's toiling. But when it comes to doing something that you love, let's say you are gifted at writing, and all you love to do is to create these wonderful characters and weave their stories and pass messages across and so on and so forth. By the time you are lifting your hands off of the keyboard, it is past 3 and you started in the morning at 8. That is not toiling, and yet it is a lot of hard work.
On the surface, you are really putting in the effort, but at the core of your heart,
you are driven. You're just driven. It's just flowing. I mean, you have to force yourself to stop. People normally call it being in the zone. It's like when you see, we normally use Michael Jordan for basketball a lot. When he's on song, in the zone, as just doing wonders. He's not necessarily quote unquote working. He's doing what he's found that fits in his, a glove in hands. And he loves doing it. It's generating a lot of passion. In fact, it's like, I don't know, the purpose is like recharging yourself as you do it. The more you do it, the more you increase in your own energy, in your own power, internally, the drive, the motivation, the inspiration. But of course, the body suffers. So you got to be balanced enough to, put things down, go out, jog, rest, and so on and so forth. But that's the thing. When you're doing your purpose, you are not necessarily toiling. You don't hate your job. You love. Let me just tell you a story here. I read, I think you've read Atomic Habits.
James Clear.
James Clear. He tells a story of this couple, can't remember which country, who decided to raise up kids. And these kids,
I think
Laszlo, the name, and they trained these kids to play chess. So much so that they are so much involved in it. There's a time he goes to the toilet in the night and he finds the youngest kid trying to move chess pieces in the night. And then he tells this kid, why don't you leave those pieces and go and sleep? What the kid said is a purpose answer. The kid said, these pieces won't leave me alone.
Wow.
So when you find that your work doesn't want to leave you alone, even when you are tired, that is purposeful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I think just before we bring this to a close, one thing that I notice is that when you are operating in your area of purpose, two things happen. One, even your pay increases.
Yeah.
Why? Because you are clearly doing something that you love, and because you love it, you will do it well.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't have to be motivated to go an extra mile.
Yeah.
You are already going the extra mile.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I notice is that I've come up with this statement that passion or purpose is the ignition for creativity. I find that when you work at something that you love, you become very creative. You get ideas, you get aha moments, you get hunches, you get creative insights that I mean, the ordinary person wonders, how do you come up with this? But it's really because you love it. You go to bed and you're thinking about it. You wake up and it's on your mind. You, wherever you go, you are just, it's just on your mind.
It's
and
true.
so as a result, you find that your creativity, your creative juices begin to flow when you operate in your area of purpose.
And by the way, I can even warn everyone who is operating on purpose, because even as you say, the creativity it's a flow.
Yes.
You're in a flow of stuff.
Yes.
And if you're not careful, it is very easy to take for granted those moments. You know this saying, familiarity breeds contempt.
Yes.
For you, it's just a flow. But for someone who is outside of purpose, who is observing you from outside, they are marveling of what kind of human being is this? What kind of ideas is? Where did he come up with those ideas? Where did those ideas come from? But you see, they are steeped into your purpose. And I normally tell people who are working on purpose to be very extremely careful with ideas. Because every time you are operating in your purpose is never an event.
Yes.
It is always going to be a process that has very many pivoting points that are all valid.
Yes.
And if you're operating in your purpose, be very careful with ideas. Some ideas might be very extremely revolutionary.
Yes.
When they occur to you at that moment in time, you should be very ready to harness them. Maybe write them down, something, meditate upon them, and so on. Create a timetable when you're going to start deploying them, and so on and so forth. Because like you've said, creativity is always going to be a guarantee when you're in your purpose. But again, if you're not going to be careful enough to harness those creative ideas that are coming to you, again, you find that it's not necessarily paying you well. You find yourself, you're just doing the same thing that you used to do. But that's I don't believe that's how God has instituted us to operate. That we're doing the same thing in the same way all these years. If you read all these big time organizations and how they have panned out, it has always been a growth continuum. They start with a small hint, and that's how purpose works, by the way. It starts with a small hint, and you move into that particular hint, you grow into it, you mature from it, and before you can even grow and mature into it, it gives you another branch here that you need to operate in. It gives you another one that you need to operate in. So two things. One, to harness that creativity, be very alert to download as many ideas as possible. And let me tell you, it can be daunting. For me, there are very many ideas that I want to deploy that are coming from the purpose that I am doing right now. Ideas about children, ideas about education, basically revolving around purpose. Very many of them. So one thing, I have to write them down and just put a timetable that I'm going to deploy them at some point in time. But then the second thing, and people have been telling this to me over and over and over again, is to get a team. And I know you're passionate about that also. Getting guys that you can run by. Two types of teams, by the way. One is a mastermind, guys that you are basically on the same level. You can work together, you can be co-partners, you can co-found something together. And then the other team is the guys who can work on the idea itself. So those two things. And you find that by the time you're through with your life, you've been very extremely fruitful with your purpose.
Yes.
You cannot start your purpose with one thing and end with one thing.
Yes.
It is always going to be creative and always going to diverge into very many things that you can follow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lawrence. This has been quite power-packed. Mainly, this has been around why purpose, why is it important? And in the next video, we are going to be looking at what are some of the things we can begin to do to discover our purpose.
Exactly.
We went through the 6 P's on purpose, but Lawrence has got a beautiful way he blends in insights on how you can be able to discover purpose. So see you in the next video as we begin to unveil this whole purpose thing. How do you discover it, and how do you begin to work in alignment with that which the Creator purposed for you to do? Thank you for watching, and subscribe to the videos so that you can continue to receive these uplifting, inspiring, and enlightening videos to help you to become a better version of yourself. Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.